I can hear.
Okay, okay. So let me share with you the screen. I hope this time you can be able to do it, okay?
Yes.
Okay. Can you see the presentation V? The sound. Can you see it?
Uh,
Can you see it? The
no.
the
Yes, I can see.
okay. Now, let's try to listen with this one. Okay, and let's try to watch the video and listen how we
This is
pronounce this
the
one.
O sound, as in the words of, on, and from. It's a vowel sound, and its technical name is the open back rounded vowel. Remember that the key to pronunciation is physical, and the name tells us about how the sound is made physically. In this case, your tongue is low and at the back of your mouth. Rounded here means that your lips make a round shape, and in this case, the mouth is also open a little bit. All vowels are made through the mouth and are voiced, so you need to vibrate your vocal cords to make the sound. It's similar to the or sound, but it's shorter. O, not or. To produce the sound, put your tongue low and back in your mouth. Slightly push your lips together and then make a short voiced sound. O,
Oh,
o, o. The O sound is normally spelled with the letter O, as in the words not and problem. But it can also be spelled with the letter A or AU, as in the words what and because. Like with all vowels in English, the spelling can be very inconsistent, and you'll always find alternative and unusual spellings of the vowel sounds. It's one of the most difficult things in English, but we just have to learn it. Here are some more examples of words with the O sound. Want, off, lot, and job. The O sound is a little unusual. It's not so common, so there are not so many examples. And it's not used at all in American English. In the American form of pronunciation, they use the sounds more similar to a or r, where in British pronunciation, sometimes we use o. So it's only really important if you specifically want to sound British. So that's it for the O sound.
okay. So we're done with this one, V. So I'm going to share with you the presentation now.
Yes.
Okay, I hope you can see this one. Can you see it?
Yeah, I can see.
Okay. Now, the one that we watched a while ago is all about the sounds. Okay? So as in it's like not, so it's the sound. Can you see it? Sound.
Of sound.
Okay, not o, but it's an as in
Ah,
or a. It's an sound. Okay, so the things that we're going to study at this time is all about that sound. But before that, we're going to read the text and then match the numbers at the pictures. So we have numbers 1, 2, and 3. We have here pictures A, B, or C. So can you tell me if where is this particular um, type of activity? Okay. Can we read this one, B? Okay, number 1, read.
um,
Uh,
uh,
activity.
Activity censure large often
Okay.
apply to skate
Okay.
that side
Sail and
sail
run.
activity censure and skating well drown and drown and moving quickly over the ground. Activity censure lots often applies to skate sail and run. Activity censure
Okay. Now, where do you think is this activity center? Is it the picture A, B, or C?
or the picture A.
Letter? Letter A? Now
Yes.
look at this one. Activity center, lots of fun. A place to skate, sail, and run. Are they skating? Are they running? Okay, look at this one. Activity center. In skating, round and round. I'm moving quickly over the ground. Activity center, lots of fun. A place to skate, sail, and run. Activity center. So where do you think is that? Is it picture A, B, or C?
Yeah.
Okay, where do you think is that? B? Picture A, B, or C? What are they doing? Are they skating? Are they running?
C.
Letter C. Okay. So it could be in letter C because they can skate, right? So a place to skate, it's letter C. Next, number 2. Can you read statements number 2?
Yeah. Number 2. Uh, I'm climbing.
Climbing. Okay, can you say it?
I'm,
Climbing.
I'm climbing easily off the ground. I'm going carefully. I saw a downfall. Activity center. Lots of fun. A place to skate, sail, and run. Activity center.
Okay. Now, what is this particular place in the activity center that you can climb easily up the wall? Then I'm going carefully so I don't fall. So where is this particular activity center? Is it A, B, or C?
Uh, A.
Yes, look at this one. So she is climbing or he is climbing the wall. Okay, so that's activity center A. Next, number 3.
Number 3. Uh,
Where
where we're sailing
sailing
happily. Our
our
boat
boats
truck.
short.
We are going slowly. What a great spot.
Okay.
Activity center. Lots of fun. A place to skate, dive, and run. Activity center.
Okay. Now look at this one. We're sailing happily. Our boat's short. We're going slowly. What a great sport. So what is that activity center? It's letter. What letter is that? B. Letter.
The
Letter.
letter B.
Yes, it's letter B. Okay. So the first picture in letter A, they're climbing the wall. In letter B, they're sailing a boat, right? In letter C, they're skating and running. Okay? Okay. Now, what are these when we say skating, running, sailing? We call this one as, remember our lesson last time, V? It's all about if we are doing the action, those are
You are
action words, or we call that one as, what do we call an action word, V?
no action word.
Is a verb, right? So those are verbs. Did you get it, V? So action words are all verbs because they are showing an action. Okay? Okay, next one, V. Now, apply the vocabulary and the structures to speak. What do you want to learn and why? Now, what are you doing? What are your friends doing? What are your family members doing? So remember to add adverbs. Okay? Okay, what we did that one already last time. Now, this time, we are going to study about the sound. Okay? The sound. It could not be an A, but it's an sound, as in job, right? Can you read this one, V? Say
Mm,
job.
shop,
It's an sound. It's job,
shop,
problem,
Brooklyn,
not,
not,
want,
wild,
because.
because,
Okay. Now observe the following letters that was underlined. It's O, A, and A. But all of them can be pronounced as in O or A. So it should be O. Okay. O, job, problem, not, want, because. Did you got it, B? Okay, now we have here the following words in here, which has the sound. Okay?
yeah,
As in when we say not,
not,
want,
want,
got,
got,
hop,
top,
on,
on,
costs,
cost,
none,
none,
odd,
odd,
rod,
rot,
rot,
rat,
sop,
stop,
stock,
yeah,
stock,
stop,
toast,
soon,
walk.
walk,
Okay. Now, these are the words that has the sound. Okay. Then the other side in here on the right side, these are the words that has the long O sound, as in note, won't. So it has the long O sound. In here, we have the short O sound. Okay? As in not. So it's oh. This
it's
one it's
chocolate,
ooh. Okay? Okay, so we're going to read this. Say note,
no,
won't,
one,
goat,
go,
hope,
home,
own,
off,
coast,
cool,
known,
no,
owed,
out,
road,
drove,
wrote,
brought,
soap,
to,
stroke,
to row,
toast,
a, toe,
woke.
woo,
Okay. Now, what have you observed, V? These are pronounced as short, okay? And the other side pronounced as long, okay? We do not pronounce this one as note because this one is only short. It's not, okay? Not compared to note, right? This one is want, not won't. This one is got, not goat. Okay? So the only difference between the two would be the pronunciation, which is the short O, and the other one has the long O sound. Did you got it, V?
Yes.
Okay. Now let's try to have this lock and key reading. So you are going to do this, V, and I am going to do this. Okay? I am going to reply. Okay? Okay. Say,
Uh,
hello.
Lord, this is Baker Street. Swimming club. Please come quickly, somebody. Got our beautiful swimming club.
No problem. We're coming. Okay. This is what you're going to say it. Okay. Hello. This is the Baker Street Swimming Club. Please come quickly. Okay. Can you say it quickly?
Quick, quickly.
Okay. Somebody's got our beautiful swimming cup.
Somebody
Buddy's got.
got our beautiful swimming club.
Okay. Cup.
Cup.
Okay. Then
Then look,
look.
here the note.
Here's the note.
Here the note. We have got a big competition this afternoon.
Competition. Again, competition.
Competition this
This.
afternoon.
Okay, I've got the swimming cup. Aha, there are two letters here. TS. Okay? Okay, so that is how we are going to communicate, B. Okay, next. Let's try to do this. You're going to do this, I'm going to do this, and you. Okay? Let's go. Walk.
Walk, walk slowly underneath the pool.
Yes.
I
I
have
have to shout loudly because it's difficult to hear in a swimming pool. UV?
white parrot
Well, okay, you.
where the swimming club isn't in the pool.
Okay. Let's go and see Mr. Swift. He's got some clean towels. Okay, and then UV.
Aha, look, here it's a he
It
got
is. Again, here it is.
it is. He got it. He got the swimming club. Give
You
me that cup.
help me, coach. Oh, the cup was nice and clean for this afternoon's competition. Now, look at it. Okay. So now, what do you think are this particular story be? It's all about what? It's all about
Yes.
the problem when it comes to the swimming cup. Okay? So, you know what is swimming cup be? It looks like this. Okay? It's something an award, or this something, this one is a trophy. So we call that one as a cup. Okay? So this one is a cup also. So the problem would be they are, or someone is going to get or getting the cup from that particular swimming what is one swimming agency, okay, or a swimming pool, okay. So that's the story all about. Do you have questions with this, V?
No.
Okay, did you understand now how to use the sound?
Yes.
Okay, so if you don't have any more question, let's proceed to our another lesson. Okay, okay, now we are now on the unit 13. So it's all about, Can you read this one, V? It's all about health.
Health matters.
Okay. So under this unit, we are going to study about the vocabulary. Under the vocabulary, we have irregular verbs in the past tense, and we are going to study also the food. Under the grammar, we're going to describe actions in the past and the structure because. And under the pronunciation, we have the E sound or the VA, okay? And this sound. Okay, V. Now, for our warm-up activity, can you read this one, V? Say,
Mhm.
can you read this one?
Master,
What's the matter?
what the matter? What the matter? What's the matter? What the matter?
Okay, now look at this question, V. What's the matter? Okay, but in this particular question in here, in number one, we are talking about this one. What's the matter? We're talking about this one. What's the matter? We're talking about this. And what's the matter? We're talking about this one. Okay? Now, how to answer that one, that question? So in number one, if the question would be, what's the matter? So the possible answer for that would be, can you read this one, V? Say,
He got a headache.
okay, he's got a headache. Can you see it?
A headache.
Yes, he's got a headache. So look at this one. This picture, of course, he's got a headache. Okay? So if I'm going to ask you, what's the matter? So what would be your answer be?
Yeah. He got he
A
got
headache.
a headache.
Okay. Then, when I'm going to say, what's the matter? So your answer would be,
He got an earache.
yes. Okay? And then if I'm going to say, what's the matter? So your answer would
He
be,
a stomach
stomach ache.
stomach ache.
Yes. And if I'm going to say, what's the matter? So your answer would be,
He got a toothache.
yes. Now look at this one. So this is how we are going to answer the following question in different situations. So situation number one, we're talking about headache. Situation number two, we're talking about earache. Situation number three, we're talking about a stomach ache. And situation number four, we're talking about the teeth, okay, or the toothache. So in a different situation. So in answering the question, what's the matter? So there are four possible answers. It could be he's got a headache, he's got an earache, he's got a stomach ache, and he's got a toothache, and many others. Okay, V? Do you have questions with this? Now, again, do you have questions with
He
this? E.
got
Do you have questions or you don't have?
so I don't have lesson.
Okay. Now, under the grammar, we are going to study the past simple tense. So when we say past simple tense, what does it mean, V? Can you read this one? Can you read this, V?
Yeah. Past simple tense to describe action that she
Started
started
and
uh,
ended.
and in the past
Yes, in the past. Or we can say
To describe a chain of events that happened in the past.
or
To describe a habit in the past.
or
To retell a story.
yes. So when we are going to say past simple, that means the action is already done in the past, meaning it's finished already. Did you get it? B. So
Yeah,
it means that the action, when you say action, what does it mean again? The verbs. Okay, so the verb is in the past already. Okay, now take a look with this uh, um, um, form, or take a look at with these rules in forming the past simple tense of the verb. So we have the so-called positive, we have also negative, and we have also question in here. So how are we going to do that, the positive? So when we say, I played, so what we did, we just only add ed to form that one, just like this one, B. So what are those rules in forming the past tense of the verb? If the verb ends in E, we just have to add only what we add, B. We just have to add only
yeah,
D,
yeah,
right? Let's say, for example, if the word ends in the word love, so the word love ends in E, right?
yeah.
Right. So what are we going to do in order to form the past tense of the verb love? We just have to add D at the end, so that becomes loved,
Love.
right? Right,
Yeah,
V?
yes.
Okay. What about if we are talking of this one? Okay, I'm going to type it on the chat box. Okay? What if we are talking about the word would be this one? Can you give me the past form of the word bake? Okay, V, chat. Okay? Type it on the chat box. The word bake. What is the past form of bake? So
That,
based on the rule, what are we going to do? We just have to add D, right? So
right.
I'm going to see it, how you do it.
Yeah.
So bake becomes
Bag.
baked. Okay,
Bag.
type. Okay.
Okay. Bag.
Okay, type it, B. That's it. Very good. Okay, so that's baked. What about when we say, okay, the word is amaze. So what are we going to do with that? Very good. Okay, so that would be amazed with the D in it. What about when we say, okay, okay, what about that one, B? When we say paddle. Very good. So it becomes paddled. And then when we say, okay, okay, paddled amaze. Okay, when we say crackle.
No.
Okay, yeah.
Yes.
Yes, very good. So it's, sorry, crackled. Okay? So did you understand rule number 1V? Do you have any questions with rule number 1?
No.
No. Okay, next. Rule number 2. If the verb ends in AY or EY, so we just have to add ED. Like for example, stay. Okay? So what happened to the word stay? Add only ED, so that becomes, this becomes
This become. Oh. This be
stayed,
right.
right? Okay, so stay becomes stayed. What about if we are going to say, okay, pray? So what are we going to do with that? V, can
Yes.
you type it? Type it on the chat. Pray.
To write.
Yes.
No. I.
So what word are we going, or letters we're going to add with the word pray, since the word pray ends in AY? So that's rule number 2 in forming the past form of it.
Yeah. I. I.
Okay, so what are we going to put? Based on our rule number 2 would be put ED, right?
Yes.
Okay. So what would happen to pray becomes,
Yeah.
okay, can you type it, V? Show it to
Type.
me.
Right.
Okay, parade. So how do you do that?
Right.
Very good. That's correct. Okay, when we say, okay, when we say, okay, wait, when we say parade. Okay, for a while. For a while, V. Okay, wait. Okay, for a while. Wait, wait. Okay, we have here. Okay. Can you see the presentation again, V?
Yeah.
Yeah, can you see it? Yeah, okay. Now, so that would be our words that has the, okay, that ends in AY or EY. Just add only ED, right? Okay, next. Let's move on to the verbs that ends in consonant Y. Okay, like for example, cry. So what are we going to do? So change the Y into I and add ED. So what happened to the word cry? That becomes, what happened to the word cry, V? That becomes
Become.
cried,
Right.
right? So the word cry becomes cried. So applying the rule, rule number 3 would says that if we have the verb that ends in y, we have to change the y into I and add ed. Just like cry becomes cried, right? V?
Yeah.
Okay, what if we have the word fry? So how are you going to do that?
Mm.
So fry becomes very good. So if we have the so-called lay, okay, that becomes, okay. Then if we have the so-called try, so what are we going to do with that? I have there, V. Can
Oh,
you, yeah.
right.
So that becomes very good. Okay, what if we have, okay, okay, when we say tie, okay, no. We have, mhm, cry, try, okay, for a while. Okay, now this one B, okay, okay, the word is, hey, so that becomes paid, okay, but this time, it's just only this one. We just have to add only DV. Okay? So that's applying another rule. Okay?
Oh,
We do not say paid, which we have to add ed. This time we are going to add only d. Change the y into I and then add only d. So that applies another rule. Okay? Okay, so let's go back in here. Just like, for example, when we say, okay, the I, okay, let's say, for example, okay, pay becomes paid. Okay, what else? When we say, okay, another one, we have, okay, when we say, okay, like, stay. So that becomes,
say,
yes. So say, we just have to, okay, we just have to change that. Yes, that's correct. So we just have to change the Y into I and then add D. Okay? And then there's another more. When we say, okay, carry. Okay, this time you have to tell me how to do that. Going back again to our rules. Okay. Again, go back again to this one. Carried becomes, or carry becomes carried. So, okay, change the Y into I and then add ed. Now, why is it we do that one B? Because the word say, okay, and it becomes said because the word say in here following before, okay, the Y would be a vowel letter. Like A, the vowel letter of the word say would be A, right? So therefore, we don't need to add ed. So we just have to add only t. Okay, V. But those who are, okay, look at this one, V. Look at our presentation. Look at the word say. Okay, can you say, can you see the presentation, V? Okay, can you read these words? Say try,
Try.
stay,
Uh, Stay.
okay, and say, right? Now there are words, there are verb V that if we are going to what? If we are going to form the past form of it, just like this one, what we're going to do is we have to change the Y into I and add ed, just like when you say try. So this becomes tried, right? Okay? But there are also verb that ends in Y that we do not what? We do not change the Y, just like the word stay. But instead, we just have to add only ed. Like stay, so we are going to we're going to say it's stayed. Okay? So we have to remember that one V. And there are also words like this. Say, then what happened to the word say? It becomes said. So we change the Y into I and add ed. What about the word play? What are we going to do with that? Are we going to change the Y into I, or it's just Y then add ed? V. So the word play, can you type? What are we going to do with that? Okay, V, can you type it on the chat box? Type. Play becomes,
Oh, I don't see your screen.
play becomes,
Play. Play.
yes. So how to do that? Can you type it?
Play.
Yes, okay. So not all verbs that ends in Y, you have to change that into I. There are some verbs that ends in Y that sometimes we do not remove that, but instead we have to add ed. Okay? Okay, another one. We have when we say pay. Okay, when we say pay again, how to do the past form of the word pay? Are we going to remove the Y and change that into I and add? So it should be like this. Paid, right? So what happened? We have to change the Y into I and add only T. Okay? Oh, do not be confused of that, V, okay? So it should be paid, not paid. Got it? Can you look at the chat, V? It
Yes.
should be paid.
Take.
Yes, okay, not paid. Okay? What else? When we say, okay, made. So when we say this one, what about that one, V? May. Can you type it? So may becomes,
May.
yes.
May.
Okay. So it could be this one,
All.
right? Okay. So do not be confused of that because there are verbs that if we are going to make the past form of it, we need to change. Okay? We need to change. So those, we call those one as irregular verbs. So we are going to study that one also. Okay? So let's proceed with this one, B. Now, let's try to answer this one. So past simple regular verbs. So regular verbs has its rules again, right? Okay, these are past tense verbs under regular verbs that if we happen to see them, we just have to add only d or ed. But there are also some verbs that ends, okay, in single consonant after short vowel sound. So what we're going to do is we have to double the letter, right? Just like when you say shop. Can you see this one, this presentation V?
Yeah.
Can you see it? Okay, can you read this word?
I
Shop.
say
Say
no.
shop.
Shop.
Okay, so what happened to the word shop? It becomes shop. So we double the last letter. Okay, why we double the last letter? Because, because
Because
before before
er,
the last letter is a vowel letter. So that's why we have to double the last letter. Shop and then add ed. Did you got it, V?
yeah,
Okay,
shop.
what else? What are the words when we say stopped? So what are we going to do with the word stop? Look
Stop.
at this one. So how are we going to do that? How are we going to form the past form of that? Stop.
Stop.
So that becomes just like what we did, right? Shop. So what we did for the shop would be we doubled the last letter because the word shop ends in a consonant and before the consonant would be a vowel. So what we did was we doubled the last letter so that becomes shopped. Okay, can you see it? Can you see it on the chat box, V?
Yes.
Okay, then what about stop? So what are we going to do with that? How are we going to form the past form of the word stop? Again, we have to double the P and add ed, right? Okay, can you read that one on the chat box, V? I send you on the chat box. Okay, it's there. So stop becomes,
Stop it.
okay,
Oh,
very good. Okay, so stop becomes stopped. Okay, when we say, um, okay, when we say clop, what are we going to do with that, V?
yeah.
When we say clop,
Block. Um. Cat.
okay, very good. Okay, so when we say, mm-hmm, okay, what about that one? So the word is trim. So how are we going to use the past form of the word trim?
Trim.
Yes, trim.
Yeah.
Very good. So it's trim. Okay? And then going back to our presentation, V. Now, if we have the verb that ends in a consonant blend, let's say for example, mend. So we just have to add only ed, right? So mend becomes mended. Okay, what else? So we have also the word. Okay. Uh, wait. The word is okay. Wait. Mend. Okay. Okay, what else? Okay, wait. Okay, blend. Okay, for a while. Okay, when we say this one V, how are we going to do this? Okay, V, how are we going to do that? The word is blend. So how are we going to do that? It becomes the past form of blend. Okay, read on the chat, B.
Yeah.
I send you a chart. So how are we going to do that? Blend becomes, okay, very good. It becomes blended. Okay. And then when we say, okay. Okay, so do you have any more questions with this, B? Do you have questions with this? Informing the past form of the verb. So we have 2, 4, 5. 5 rules informing the past form of the verb, okay? So I want you to remember this one because next meeting, we are going to discuss this one again. And we're going to do activity, okay? Do you have questions, V? Do you have questions? Hello?
No, I don't know.
Okay, no. So if you don't have any more questions, we'll see you again on our original time next week. Okay? Okay. So bye for now, V. We'll see you again next week. Okay, bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Okay, bye-bye.